They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. In one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how
What's going on? It's your boy King Des here. Another episode of Brunch with the Boys. I'm doing great tonight, but how we doing, gentlemen?
Hey, man, I'm always good, man. You know.
Yeah.
It's a gentle cheer.
You won't come from a cut-off hoodie game. I just got into the game recently. I'm just trying to be like Gent.
You know that this is not your forte, man.
It is actually. They loving me in the streets right now. Ever since I left the Tank Top gang, me and Dad stopped kicking it like we used to. But you know, hopefully I can join this new cut-off hoodie team, and I'm gonna be good to go.
I swear to God, I tried everything to keep him away from it too. I tried everything to keep him away from it.
Yeah, I know.
That's funny. What we getting into tonight, fellas?
Man, we just want to talk a bit about giving back, man, and the importance of doing so, especially during the holidays. You know, this is a time where a lot of people have been out of work all year, and we talk about the parents and their needs, but we forget the kids are suffering too. And I know we're grown now, so we make Christmas happen, but remember the days when Christmas happened for us, and nothing felt better than getting a toy under the tree. We used to wake up early to open gifts all of 5:36 in the morning for weeks up until Christmas. You go to the tree and you'd shake the gift just to try to guess what it is. You'd beg your siblings to tell you, hey, you know what I got? Sometimes they knew. If it was my sister, she told you easily. She couldn't hold water. You know what I mean? So it's just a good time, and I think it's important for us to give back.
Yeah. Word.
I remember that Christmas where we got like 13 gifts.
Yeah.
And it was like the best. It was right after Hurricane Andrew. I might be dating myself.
When that money came in, that FEMA?
Yeah.
When that FEMA money came in, and
that's when I got Nikes.
Listen, this is officially when we all felt like we were dope dealers. It didn't even matter whether we were in the game or not. The money was flowing from the government.
I remember when I came to your house for the first time, and I was like, man, that shit nice. Man, these niggas ain't grow up like I grew up. I don't know if it was you or Jeezy saying, nigga, that's all Hurricane.
That's all Hurricane money. It never looked like that before, boy.
Yeah, that wasn't like before. You know, so you know how it goes. But you know, it's crazy though. I also remember being 18 and coming back home for my first year from college, and I remember having one gift. And I remember saying, boy, how times have changed. You know what I mean? That's when I realized I was no longer a kid, nigga, and those gifts weren't coming. You know what I mean?
You know what, though? I had this conversation with someone not too long ago. It was longer, probably like a year ago. But, you know, with my kids, and, you know, I vacillate and I try to balance, you know, kind of trying to give them what I had versus what I think is probably better. And what I remember the most is I remember special gifts, like, and I remember like milestone shit. Like I remember getting a Nintendo. I remember getting a steak. Like I remember that shit, right? But like, yeah, I remember that shit. But I don't remember like 90% of the shit I got. I'm just gonna be real. Like, and so what I try to do with my kids nowadays is I try to limit the gifts, right? I think my parents racked their brains. You gotta keep in mind, y'all had it was multiples of y'all. It was really just me and my brother, like 11 years apart. So really, the first 11 years of my life, when this shit really mattered, it was just me. And so my parents really kind of went all out. They still got a nigga to fake Ewings. Yeah. I'm gonna let it go.
How do you get fake Ewings when the real Ewings already on sale for $15.99? I mean,
you gonna do my parents like that?
I'm only speaking because I had the Patrick Ewings, and I had a limited pair. I had the running Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing never ran a day.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
The running Patrick Ewings with the 33 on the side from Kmart. Y'all better tighten up over here. I tell you that.
Mine looked like the Patrick Ewings, but it didn't have any numbers on them. So I was just lying and telling my friends I didn't like the way numbers look. I took them off. No one believed me. But
honestly,
that's what I went with.
You made it. My situation was worse because I never forget wearing those to school the next Monday, and the kids saying, "Man, why is there a 33 on the side of your shoe?" white boy was really flabbergasted. He only knew money. He never knew everything wasn't Nike, Reebok, Adidas. So it was tough, man. But honestly, we just got to be grateful because it's really not about how much you have. It's about having. And to me, I think Christmas right now, we just have the kids, and that's why Brunch with the Boys, we reached out, man, and we didn't talk about it. We were about it today. We went out and bought a bunch of gifts. Jen, go ahead and share your experience. How'd that go for you today?
Yeah, so there is a radio station, 106.7, who one of the DJs, his name is
Baby DJ.
Baby DJ. And Baby DJ does a Christmas toy drive every year. And so this year, I connected with the boys and say, man, we should participate and just get a bunch of toys. So we went and get our money together, man, and we hit different stores and Five Below and just really just said, man, let's just go get as many toys as we possibly can. And I brought my kids. Primarily, I brought my son only to be the videographer, if that's a thing, but the person who was holding the camera. But for my daughter, I wanted her to experience it. You know what I'm saying? Because when I told her about it and I said, this is what we're going to do today, she got extremely excited. And I was like, this is not a time for you to go get slime. It's time to give slime to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, no, she was cool with that. And so,
a quick side note, I don't get why kids love slime. That shit is so weird.
No, my kid is a textile baby, man. Yeah, she loves it.
That's just your kid. It's Jit.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know a kid that doesn't enjoy playing with slime, and it's disgusting to me.
Oh,
it is.
They like making slime is the most important thing now.
They like playing with it too. They playing with it too.
I used to get my shit out the vending machine like every other kid.
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
Now they can make it. They can make it with some baking soda. You think that you know what I'm saying? They're out here cutting it. They've been Benny dope dealers for a little bit now. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I taught them well.
But
you are right.
What was cool was while we were picking out all the toys, at first it was just like a smash and grab, just trying to get everything. And then my son was like, man, we got to be more thoughtful in regards to what we're selecting. And so I was like, well, then get a cart then and you get in it. And so he was like, I don't know what a kid likes. I was like, dude, you were a kid like all but several years ago, right? So he started going in and he was taking his time and was being very thoughtful and selective. And, after we were at the register and we were checking out, I was just like, I just hope you guys understand, like, you guys have been privileged. You guys never had any wants. Never had any needs, much less wants. And, this COVID situation has really put people out. And there's a lot of kids that are not going to experience half of what you're normally experiencing, and we got to do something about that. And my son was like, "Yeah, you're completely right," and I'm glad that we did this today. So it was a good feel for sure.
I took my daughter with me, and she enjoyed it. I even spoke to my son about it as well, and he liked the idea. I didn't take him at a game, and honestly, after he lost the game, he wasn't in the best mood, so I didn't really want to be around that. But don't ruin my vibe.
You know what I'm saying? I feel you.
But I took my daughter, and it was great. She really thought things through, whether it was a boy or girl. She talked about whether they like science or art or sports. So we really got toys from every perspective, and she really enjoyed it. And while we were there, she bought a gift for her brother, which I really love because we know that little nigga ain't buying her a gift. You know what I mean? And
it's not just him, though. It's not just him. It's not niggas.
It's not just. It's all little brothers and all brothers worldwide. All of them suck.
All older brothers too.
Oh, exactly. So
you gonna leave my son out of it? He been bought his sister a present.
But your son a grown ass man, so we talking about jits.
Yeah, once they get past 18, they got different standards. But under 18, they ain't shit. So she really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. It feels. The Bible always says it's better to give than receive, and I truly stand by that. It feels way better to give and make someone's day.
Unless it's sexually, I really feel like
I didn't take it there because he said the Bible, and I thought it would be it would show like a.
I'm still taking it there because
I know
the Lord knows your heart.
The Lord knows my heart, and He knows I deserve to receive. Is all I'm trying to say, man. I've been given too much.
If I'm to be honest with you, even when it comes to sex, and yet even when we're talking about Christmas and the kids, we find ourselves here. I
left it alone.
Yeah, and Des, you're off the hook this time. Gent, you brought it up, and me, unfortunately, I carried it through. But it still feels better to give, even in that situation. To me, you got to earn that receive. As a man,
So yeah, I had a conversation with my son about.
We might need to cut that video part out. Yeah. We went all off. We were on funny. Some wholesome shit. So cut that piece out, big bro. Pick up D when you're ready.
No, we're out of town today, and so we didn't have an opportunity to do a lot of running around. As a matter of fact, he has a game tomorrow morning. But I think we get back in. We're gonna kind of what you guys talk conversations. What time is, to your point, Gent, how very fortunate they are to not have any wants, right? And I'm gonna give my parents some credit. And I don't know how it happened, but my parents used to make shit happen as well as they could, right? And granted, I didn't have any context because all the niggas I know lived around me, so we was all in the same situation. So as far as I knew growing up, I was straight. Like I was cool. I mean, like I definitely had what I needed. I had food. My lights was on. My parents, didn't get mad and hit me for no reason. Like I ain't had no bullshit at my house. But I definitely
when you got slapped, you deserved it. Go ahead.
Oh, all the time. All the time. I look back now, when you were younger, you never deserve your beatings, right? They are tripping, right? But older boy, like I deserve all of them.
You should have got slapped a few more times. So I
don't know about that. So I think what I try to get across to my kids is that what's most important, particularly, and I think COVID kind of exacerbated everything, but I think really around the holidays, what's important and what your legacy is how people remember you, and how you make them feel, right? It's a Maya Angelou saying, right? It's like people may not remember what you said, they may not remember your name or something like that, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
It's true.
And so I think understanding whether it's, whether it's mentoring youth. I think anytime you guys, and anytime our listeners, anytime anybody that we're close to, people in general can lend their open their wallets or their hearts or lend their time or give their time. However you can give back, however you can positively impact another person, I think is something we can never lose sight of. It's what ultimately.
I agree. And I think as men, it's important for us to lead the way, and show that giving back is important so that our kids see it and want to mimic that behavior because, so we live in a world where everyone is on the take. And if we don't give back to those in need, what are we really doing? And you said it best as legacy, helping those in need. That person will never forget you. Even if you never speak to them again, they'll be telling a story on how they got help from you at a time where they needed it more than ever. You know what I mean? So
I want to tag on something to that before we move forward. I think compassion and empathy. I think some people have that kind of normally. I think some people have that, but I think a lot of times a learned behavior. And because I remember being a kid, little hood kid, man, hustling, getting into Shashima, getting in and stealing pieces from the pizza man. We used to call this nigga, he go into the building and deliver. I grew up in an apartment, deliver pizza. We go into his car because these dumb niggas never locked the car and we would steal all the pizzas, right? That's the kind of little nigga I was. But I remember always around the holidays, my mom was big about making sandwiches. I remember this vividly because though I wouldn't necessarily classify myself as like poor. Maybe we were working class people. I would say my parents were working class people, living paycheck to paycheck. But I never thought like we was poor anything, but I knew we ain't have an abundance of shit to be giving away to other motherfuckers, right? Like, and I remember my mom making sandwiches, making rice and beans, making like meat. Like I come in the house and she like, oh no, we're going to feed the homeless. Like the homeless? I'm hungry now.
Yeah,
the homeless.
You feeling homeless.
My mom would get these little containers. She would put food in them and rice and meat, stuff like that, vegetables. And then we would go out in DC, me, her, my dad, and we would I grew up in DC. Anybody know about DC knows homeless people everywhere. And we would hand out, and it's cold up at this time. It's probably 30 degrees. We handing out the food. And I just remember being like, my parents work hard. We don't have that much. And they out here on the 6 o'clock on the Sunday evening giving out food to people. So they would just talk to me about why that was important. And I remember specifically this one time, this dude, my mom went to give him like a bag, had a sandwich, some other stuff, some waters. You know, he slapped it out of her hand. He's like, I don't want your food. I don't know if you poisoning me. It's the homeless nigga, right? And I remember the first thing came on me was, I'm probably like 10. I want to jump out the car and beat this nigga in the face, right? And I remember getting home and talking to my mom, like, how could you do that when people still like acting like that? And my mom was like, you know, you always gonna have some people that are prideful or some people that act a certain way, but you can't do these things for the 10% of the people that don't act like you want them to act. You have to do it for the 90% of the people who are appreciative of whatever you can offer them and help them out with. And I just remember that sticking with me.
And Des, that's like perfectly said. And I actually live by a motto similar to that. I always say that what you eat don't make me shit, right? It's just like, it don't matter what you do. Mm-hmm. I am going to act how I feel I should act, irregardless of what the fuck you're doing, right? And that has no impact. And that's all your mom was doing, basically. She was going to do what she believed was right, irregardless of how, you know, any other person feels. Like, you're not going to please everyone, right? But you live like that. It's a wonderful way of just kind of ensuring that your internal compass always points true north, man. And like, you gonna be who the fuck you gonna be, and no one's gonna change you, or no emotion is gonna rattle that. And so big up to your mom, because shit, I wish I had learned that a lot sooner in my life.
She really taught you something that I always emphasize with my kids, especially my son, about integrity and doing right even when you're being wronged. And being the person you want to be, even if you're being treated less than you deserve. Because ultimately that level of integrity will lead to success, and you'll never feel bad about doing the right thing, even when someone's wronged you. And no matter how it turns out, you're going to come out on top, and that person, whoever wronged you, is going to end up regretting how they treated you. And you're going to feel great about what you did because you knew you stood tall and didn't change who you were. You didn't switch up at all, you know? So
it's funny you say that, because my mom she would always say, she's like, I do this for others and I do this for the Lord, right? Yeah. Like nobody's negativity is going to stop my purpose, right? And my purpose is to help others. So who want it, who don't. But yeah, you're right, man. But I think that's something we have to instill in our kids, to your point. I don't know that that's natural. If I had two jerk parents, I wouldn't be as nice as I am.
No, and nice. I'm not sure we'd ever associate that adjective with you, Des. But I hear what you're saying. I think it's just a good time of the year to get back and feel good. I felt so good buying those toys, and I know I'm never going to open a box and play with them. Like it felt overwhelmingly good to just know I was going to put a smile on a stranger. And that little kid was going to be so grateful, and I don't even know him. So, right. You know, the holidays, man. So listen, the family time's coming up, man. Holidays, y'all ready? Christmas shopping done.
Yeah. I mean, no.
Yeah.
No, but the good thing about what I did was, it's straight. Right,
even without Christmas.
They got a mama who's on top of that shit. Yeah. So I just slide the bread or be like, hey, do what you got to do. You know, and my parents, my parents, particularly my brother, I usually try to do something like thoughtful. You know what I mean? So I'll send up something that gets delivered to the house. I don't really wrap stuff up. I'm not sending my parents like bread necessarily in a card. I try to do something that gets sent to the house, or like something I tried to do before is like, I tried to do like a little dinner, and I had it sent to the house. So my parents, got home from church or whatever. I ain't that nice. I did it like twice in my whole life.
You could do better. You could do better.
When they got home, you know what I'm saying? Came in, got a nice little dinner served up or whatever. So I'll figure out something to do.
Yeah. I think most people prefer experiences over gifts these days, especially as you get older. When you're younger, I think you want the material goods. But once you get older, you appreciate the experiences.
Let me ask you a question, just based off what Jeezy just said, because that's part of the. I didn't finish my statement earlier, but about to exactly what Jeezy's talking about, experiences over gifts. Let's say you spend. I don't know what people spend on gifts, right? It depends on how old the kids are.
And depends on who the gifts.
Right, I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly. I'm talking about just kids though. But let's say you spend. Let's say you spend $700-800 on or let's say you spend $1,000 on gifts for your immediate family, right? So I'm talking about your significant other, your kids, or whatever. Plus or minus a few $100. Everybody knows the budget. Let's say you were able to find a cruise or some other type of trip for around the same amount, plus or minus $200 of what you would have paid on gifts. Are you going to do you buy a bunch of gifts and y'all just at home chilling? Do you buy the whole family a vacation, get a card, print out like the paper that shows you're going on vacation, and then the day after Christmas, y'all going to the port because y'all got a 5-day cruise?
I think it depends on your family. You have to know who you're dealing with. A lot of people, and I want to say women because I'm obviously a man and I'm straight. So, but a lot of women, they receive love through gifts, material goods. So even though the thought is nice and they know you love them, the fact that you didn't get them anything can hurt their feelings. So a vacation for your significant other might be dope.
That's a big deal.
No, I think she might be dope. That might be dope, but your kids don't see that shit. Everything you do for your kids, in their mind, this is what that nigga's supposed to do. Every time you do something special, you drove out of your way to get him a burger here, even though the family wanted this. When he gets it, he may forget to say thank you because in his mind, that nigga was like, I said I was hungry and I wanted a burger. Nigga, did what you were supposed to do. So you can't really say, oh, kids, I got you a vacation. If your kids are in their teens, they may enjoy it. But I think if they're any younger than that, they're like, nigga, this is what you got me? Like, no, I want a gift, something tangible.
Yeah, I think you're right about the age. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah. Cool beans.
I completely agree. You guys ever feel like any Christmas stress during this season? Like, I mean, or is it pretty much like pretty low key all the time?
No, I don't feel any stress.
Whether it's logistical challenges with families or what you buying the kids or any of those things, it's pretty.
No, I think it's easy. You got to have a plan, and your kids tell you what they want, so it's not like you're reading their minds at this point. And it's Christmas time. When the holidays come, I find myself in a mental space where I'm not going to let a lot bother me. I just want to appreciate what I have because it's easy to focus on the negative. We're humans. Whenever we think on shit, we probably are going to think about where things are going bad rather than focus on all the good we have going on. So, when the holidays come, I get an extra big bag, from Santa, and it was Christmas.
That's fun.
And I make sure, I catch a vibe, man, and I ride that holiday wave, man. I suggest everyone does that.
Yes, I mean, like I said, we talked about earlier. I know what I know what Christmas in the hood look like, right? Like I know what kids, the same type of the folks that we're talking about now don't have, the things our kids take for granted. So as far as kids, I never feel that way. I think I try to be a little bit more thoughtful, but I'll be honest with you guys, like Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. And not because that's when Columbus came and killed all the Native Americans. I'm not actually celebrating the holiday because if you actually know the base of the holiday, it's some bullshit.
Yeah.
But I mean the thought behind it. To me, Thanksgiving is almost like Christmas without
thank you.
It's exactly what it is. So that's why I love. It turns me off. It turns me off the amount of greed and expectation. And sometimes from your kids, sometimes from other family members that come from Christmas. I always say to anybody, that's gonna give me something, I'm always like, people ask me what I want. I'm like, none. I mean, for me, I work. I got a good job. Everything that I want, I buy. I don't wait till Christmas to buy it. Unless I'm getting like a Black Friday deal, some shit like that. So there's anything that somebody buys me now, and I appreciate it. But if they didn't give me anything and they got me something thoughtful that they made, or just a nice card that was well written and thoughtful, that means more to me than something for $50, $60. You could buy me $100. You could buy me. I can buy myself over Amazon tomorrow.
I totally agree. I love Thanksgiving for that very reason. On top of that, the food, and on top of that, the food. But no, I agree, man. I never even thought about it that way. You know, like Christmas without the expectations of gifts, and if all you have to do is be thankful. Clearly, the best holiday of the year, outside of 420, of course.
Hey.
You know, New Year's not even in that.
420 dance.
No, New Year's is
ain't no real
the wackest holiday in the world. To me, honestly,
like Columbus Day.
For real. At this stage in life, I'm done celebrating New Year's, to be honest with you. No, seriously, like, but I'm going to be in bed at 9:30. I'm waking up to work out the next morning at 5:30. So it's like, no, man, I don't see New Year's as a holiday.
Yeah. I think if you ain't really going out to party and nothing like that, if you at a different stage in your life, I think I agree 100%. I mean, I do watch some of the New Year's festivities, but like, I don't specifically make plans to do anything. As a matter of fact, you talk about being older. I don't. Like, it's so funny because when I was like 20, I was trying to get to wherever the party was. But now, you know what first thing come to my mind? People out here be drinking and driving on New Year's.
That's what you be thinking now?
I'm going to be in the house.
The most I want to do is go out to dinner, and I'm going out to dinner at like 7:30, and I'm in the house, nigga, by 9:30. If I'm feeling very festive, I'll go get some fireworks, and I'll shoot those suckers off myself at midnight. But beyond that, man,
I don't mind a good New Year's turn up, because, you know, like, I just remember when we used to just live in the club a lot more often. Like, we used to live in that bitch. So it's
10 years ago, nigga?
No, not even. Hey, I don't think it even 10 years.
It wasn't that long. It wasn't that long ago, but it probably 5 more. 5 sounds more.
Yeah, 5. Live. He ain't say.
Yeah. Live. 8.
Live is every like 2-3 times a month.
Yeah, that's 8 to 10. That's 8 to 10. Yeah. But Ben,
Yeah. So I feel like
we ain't been in a year and a half. Too.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I think we fell off in that bitch last year.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Bitch last year, or was it the beginning of this year?
It could have been last year before COVID. It has to be last year, bro.
I think it's a year and a half, honestly. I think it's about 16 months since we've been in the club.
Oh, man, it had to be January, February, man.
The point I'm making is it's not a good
year has went by fast, though.
It's not a good look for us, dog, because I mean, I just show it either shows that we're evolving or we're getting old or we really lost our touch. Or it's just like, you know, we in a nice little content space, which is nothing wrong with any one of them. But because we haven't been really hitting it like that, like we used to, I look at New Year's probably as a time where I can just hit it one time real good and celebrate, you know, the starting of a new
turn
year.
Back the hands of time for the night. Yeah, I like the idea of that. Turn back the hands of time for the night. You can speak for yourself on that lose your touch shit, because Jeezy always ready. Just because a nigga ain't trying to be in the streets like that, I don't think you lose your touch. It's just shit change, man. What's important to you? I much prefer, again, a cup of Henny and a spliff on the back porch than I would a packed ass club with loud ass music. You know what I mean? So,
but you know that
you good. You good.
You know what I think? I'd like something in the middle. Gent used to have something, right? Gent would have a gathering at his spot. So there's a couple of things I'm gonna talk about which is why I like it. Like, I like the idea of being around people that are in my circle in a safe environment, drinking, smoking, and having a good time, right? Like I like that. And so Gent used to have. I ain't gonna wait too much of the inside, but Gent used to have nice little get together on New Year's. He had a beautiful backyard.
Bartenders, remember?
Yeah, bar DJ, outside bar DJ had the.
You used to do it big. Yeah, you used to do it real big.
And everybody there, the difference between that and going to a club or something is everybody there we knew. We was friends with them, or they was family, or we hooped with them, or we were a friend of a friend. Everybody had a cosigner. You know what I'm saying? And there was never no drama maybe chicks when they get drunk, because that's normal.
Yeah.
No offense to my female listeners, but as far as like, there was never no drama. We ate, we danced, we sat around the fire. I like that.
I miss
vibe.
those times too.
I would prefer that than being at home by myself.
Yeah.
But I don't prefer going to the club than being home on my
bunch of
porch.
strangers. No, I agree. Exactly. I definitely miss those times, man. Those were good vibes, man. Yeah. The only thing we were missing were topless waitresses carrying splits around.
And you know what?
That was the only thing.
I feel like there's still time for us to get there. We'll get there soon. I'm gonna bring it back.
I don't feel like the kids would have understood that one.
But well, yeah, I'm just saying we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna sprinkle this in there at some point. You know what I'm saying? But I think I don't mind a nice VIP spot. If I can't get VIP, I'm not going on New Year's. I'm not trying to be in the hustle and bustle. I'm not trying to wait in no lines. I'm trying to also be out before the club closed by like at least an hour. I want to just be there, experience it, be in the midst of the noise, and then I want to disappear. That's it. I just want to disappear after that. But I am looking forward to this holiday. You said what?
Closing that bitch down.
Yeah, well,
we're always at the club. Whenever we always close it down, nigga.
Yeah, nobody ain't leaving early, nigga.
I'm just saying. I think I'm changing. I'm changing.
No, the DJ gonna have to tell me. No, the DJ got to say, "This is the last one, y'all." I mean, he got to turn
the lights on.
Yeah, you got to tell me.
And I hope he's playing. I hope he's playing R. Kelly, "Feeling on Your Booty" on the way out
for the last 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
No, real talk though. All jokes aside, in college when they played that "Feeling on Your Booty" at the end of the night, everybody got laid, you know.
Yeah.
So
ugly niggas didn't. Ugly niggas didn't. Don't do that.
I bet ugly niggas was hitting them ugly hoes, because ugly hoes need love too.
They do, especially during the holiday season.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of good looking niggas was hitting the ugly hoes too, because beer goggles was on. Once your beer goggles on, everything looked good.
It's right. So, yeah, it's right. Titty sweaty. I remember them days.
Yeah. Keep your eyes open, fellas, at the end of the night. It ain't what it really looked like.
And listen to her voice. That voice will tell you what it looked like a lot of times.
And if you leave with a girl's number and you don't remember what she looked like, you don't want to remember what she looks like. You know what I'm saying? And never meet a girl in the corner.
That's some subconscious blacking out.
It's too dark. You don't really know.
Hey.
No, I met a girl once in the club. I'll never forget in Tallahassee. She was so goddamn black. I could not tell you what she looked like when I left that bitch. And when we ended up linking up the next day, I said, "Damn, how did I run into this wildebeest, nigga?" I mean, she was hideous. You know what I'm saying? Booty was fat as shit though, so I understood how I got there.
Typically are on wildebeest.
Yeah. I know, right? But you gotta open your eyes out there, fellas. Open your eyes.
I don't know if I've ever had that.
Man. No, man. We always go off subject, but we just want to focus on again, enjoy the holidays. All of our listeners, we appreciate y'all. As these Christmas holidays come, spend it with your family. Give a gift, to anyone. Just put a smile on someone's face. Like they say, be thoughtful. It's not about how much bread you spend. It's just about the thought, Let
me say something to the brothers, all our listeners out there, but particularly our Black, Hispanic listeners, minority listeners, and I'm going to speak specifically to Blacks because I'm Black. I had the opportunity in my life on a couple of occasions to mentor young kids. I think that a lot of times in minority communities, people and young kids think that the only way to success, the only path to success is through through athletics or entertainment or the dope game.
Streets, yeah.
And if you achieve success in any other way, you're a square or you're a lame or whatever that is. And what I try to do in the opportunities that I've had, and I'm going to pick it up. I mean, I got a son, so I feel like
you got to. I mean, you meant to your own son.
Right, yeah. Right. But as he gets older and those things, because by the time 16, 17, you didn't put into your kid what they
all that you're gonna put in.
So that time I might find a 10-year-old kid. Exactly. So, but I'll tell you, just for young men, I'm going to speak about Black men, for them specifically, and particularly with us on this panel who are multiple degree holders, successful in the job world, and we some cool ass niggas that can dance, and we got game, and we know the lingo, and we grew up in the hood, and so I think it's important for them to see examples of things that they can be that don't require them to be 6'7", or don't require them to be able to run a 4.2 or to be able to sing or dance. Right? All you got to do is use your brain and work hard. And I think anything that any of our listeners can do to impact the next generation, particularly the next generation of at-risk youth and youth who don't feel like they have an opportunity to be anything else but what society says they should be, use that power that you have to make an impact. And if you impact one kid, and now that kid ends up going to college or getting a trade and working and being a citizen as opposed to being in a fucking penitentiary, you did your life's work.
You won.
So
I actually am glad, because many years ago, I mentored a kid, and like you, I ended up having one. So, my focus went there, but I think you're right. We have to find time to give back, and it would make a world of a difference just to have stability, or to provide stability for a young Black man in a community where, they rarely see a Black man leave and become educated and successful and provides stability and security for his family. And you mentioned all the things that we are. I think it's important for them to see that you can still be cool,
right,
and still do your thing, and use your brain and still have swag, and you there's no reason. And I told my son this the other day. It's funny. I said, you don't have to let anyone put you in a box. You can be everything. You can be an artist, a musician, an athlete, a scholar. You can do it all. You don't have to.
And a cool ass nigga.
And a cool ass nigga fucking these hoes. Whatever, son. You know what I'm saying? I finished with that too, so he knew I was real. But my point is that you can do it all. And the coolest thing you can do is be you, man. And that's what I preach. So I think it's important for us to get out there. And I challenge both of you, especially since you brought it up, Dad, that we find a young man to mentor and help him along the way. Because honestly, what I wouldn't have done just for a little bit more attention, a little bit more tools and wisdom. And I grew up with my father, and we all could have stood to have more support. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of these kids don't have their fathers around. So if we can provide just a minimal amount of support, it would go a great distance.
Work.
I think what I'm looking forward to is actually spending time with my kids. So, I work a huge national job, and I spend a lot of time either on the road or in somebody's office, and really not, and I spend my time with my kids, but it's not as much as I really would love for it to be. So for me, I'm looking forward to taking some time off and really just sitting down and talking to them and understanding them, because I think a lot of time people, and this goes for a lot of people, and you don't have to have the type of job that I have, but you could just be experiencing what we call this crazy thing called life. And that is working every day, coming home, you come home, you cook dinner, you take your shower, it's already ready time for bedtime. You really haven't interacted with your children. You really haven't interacted with your son or your daughter. And sometimes not even your significant other, because you just run through these motions. Man, it's a wonderful time to stop for a second, take some time and really enjoy them, engage with them on another level, you know what I'm saying? And then be able to just make those moments, man, because the way that I look at life is it's nothing but a collection of moments. So I want to make as many as possible so that I can say that I had a good one. So, and that's more for me, but for those who are just kind of walking through life and you're really not engaging with your family, your friends, your people, take this time during the holiday, man, and make them moments. That's all I got.
And it's never too late. I just wanted to add that before we end this. It's never too late to fix a relationship. You know what, I take that back. It's never too late to try to fix a relationship. Sometimes shit does expire and you missed the deadline, nigga. And when that bread's spoiled, there's no bringing it back to life. If you would have caught it a couple days earlier, you could have put it in the fridge, but it's too late. It's
or
green
toasted
now.
it.
You know what I mean? It's
toasted, put some butter on.
Or again, if
my
it was
mom
in
would
the
tell me to
fridge.
cut that piece of the bread off. I came from a different life.
But see, my mom would have told me to put it in the fridge. The moment it started to smell, it would have never turned green. I'd have been good. I'd have been making toast with that bread for weeks. You know what I mean? But my point of the matter is, you can put effort in to fixing any relationship that has gone awry, and you can only do your part. You can try and you hope that person meets you in the middle. If they don't, you know, that's life. But if they do, what a blessing. So, you know, it's with this holiday coming up, just use that as an opportunity. Just, you know, fix things, resolve any dumb issues, and focus on what's important: family, life, health. You know, so keep perspective. You know, brunch with the boys.
We out
got
here, man.
deep out here today. You know.
Yeah, man.
Y'all have a happy holiday, man.
For sure, man. And hey, for those for those who haven't caught up, man, get caught up. We still got a bunch of episodes many haven't listened to, man. So take this time to get caught up for sure. All right.
And we funny as shit. If y'all just listen to us for the first time, we funny.
Yeah, there it is.